All right, guys, welcome to Waiter Waitress Weight Loss. Today, I'm going to show you how you can lose fat, build muscle, and achieve that dream body you always wanted, even while working in a chaotic work environment surrounded by bad habits, unpredictable schedules, and constantly being surrounded by food all day, using the same methods I used to lose 40 pounds in 16 weeks. Over here on the right, I have a picture of that transformation. This is actually a 14-week transformation. During that 16-week transformation, I was able to lose 35 pounds here and go on to lose another 5 pounds later, which I will show you. If you're watching this, you're probably in the same position I was at one point. Overweight, lacking self-control, eating everything on the expo line, and maybe even waiting for that shift drink at the end of the night, just to take the edge off of feeling stuck and unhappy. What I wanted. Not only was I tired of feeling like crap, but I was tired of eating and treating my body like crap. I wanted to be a role model, someone my future kids could look up to, someone my future wife could say they're proud of, and not just some bum waiter that wasted his potential and never achieving his dream body. Over here, I have an image of me with my two nephews, who I really truly look up to, or really want them to look up to me as an uncle, and I look at them as my own children. And on the left, I have my girlfriend of 3 years, who I eventually want to call my wife someday, and I want to be someone that she is proud of as well too. Now, today I have a special opportunity for you. If you stick around and watch this whole video, I am confident that you'll be on your way to achieving your dream body. This was me. I've been obese. Over here on the left, you can see very chunky, definitely classified as obese, let's just say that. I've been skinny fat. This was me going in when I was in high school. Definitely lost the weight because of stress and anxiety, but overall still lost the weight. I did eventually put on a little bit of muscle after high school, as you can see here, but then I just let myself go and gained it all back, as you can see here on the right. I lacked confidence, which didn't help with my service. I lacked self-control, which will bite you in the ass when you're surrounded by free food and free drinks all day. Most importantly, I just felt horrible about the way I was treating myself, which leads to a never-ending spiral of you treating your body like shit. That is a slippery slope, guys, let me tell you. If you haven't gone down it yet, it is bad. Especially when you're in the restaurant industry. You're surrounded by bad habits constantly. I mean, not too many great role models there. But once you start going down that slope, you're just going down. It's not easy to go back up that slope, let's just say that. I knew I could do better. I had seen others transform their bodies, and I knew I could do the same if I just put in the work. I was done with eating the bread in the window and in the kitchen's mistakes, going out every weekend to numb the pain and ruining my progress, yo-yo dieting and not staying consistent. All right, that's another one I can't stress, the yo-yo dieting, and going out every weekend too. But the yo-yo dieting, more importantly, I see so many people, and especially myself, I did this myself too, where I would just find the next fad diet, whether it was keto or just something where it's just a crazy calorie deficit, where I would just torture myself. And it was changes that I wasn't able to sustain. And I eventually get off that diet and gain all the weight back. And I see people do this constantly. I mean, you see it with a lot of these days with Ozempic and other GLP-1s, where people will just lose a bunch of weight. And as soon as they get off the drug, they gain it all right back. And the worst part is they are worse off when they gain the weight back because they lost so much muscle on the way down. It is truly scary, but you need to find something that's consistent for you. And I think this program and these things I'm going to teach you in this PowerPoint will really help you stay consistent. What I decided to do, I decided to learn how to control my cravings and avoid my temptations while at the restaurant. Learn what foods to avoid at the restaurant. Learn what foods could fit in my diet at the restaurant. Started meal prepping consistently. Cut out the long weekends, the weekday nights with my coworkers. Consistently started hitting the gym. Learned what workouts were best for me to achieve my dream body. Reminded myself every day, you only have one body. That is something that I can't stress enough. This is the only body you got. Why are you treating it like crap? And why are you going to give up the opportunity to transform that body? Fast forward. I was not only able to build that physique I always wanted, but I was able to maintain it. In the process, I went through all the bumps and turns down a windy, unstable road. But through that process, I was able to carve a straight path to success of constantly bettering myself. Over here, I have that picture on the left where I lost that initial 35 pounds. As you can see, I look jacked. Over here on the right, I have a couple weeks later where I stepped on a bodybuilding stage, lost another about 5 more pounds. But as you can see, that tan really did some wonders, and some good lighting too. I'm very proud of that picture right there. A couple months later, this is me after the bodybuilding show, able to maintain that physique. And then over here on the right, this is me more recently, a couple years later, where I am still maintaining that leanness, but I also put on some more size. It might be a little hard to tell between these pictures because of the tans, we'll be honest. But I have put on size since then, and I've done it with ease because I'm able to maintain this diet that I've been able to do. My new goal. Now my goal is to help people like you achieve their dream body when you're constantly surrounded by food and unhealthy lifestyles. Most importantly, I want to help you maintain it. Over here, I have a picture of one of my first clients, Kristen. She was able to lose not only a couple pounds of fat, but gain muscle in the process. And she's maintained this for a while. She's actually down a couple more pounds now too. Even without my help, she's able to maintain the things I have taught her. On the right, I have a couple pictures of me at my in-person gym that I used to work at. Learned a lot there, helped people with their techniques. Wasn't able to help people as much with their nutrition, which is why I moved to the online coaching. But if you're somebody who's unhappy with their lifestyle, scared they'll be stuck for the rest of their life, this video is for you. What's the goal? Even though I transformed my body like this in a matter of 16 weeks, it would not have been possible without the 10 years of learning and suffering, trying to figure out what worked for me. This wasn't just something that happened in 16 weeks. This was 10 years of experience in the gym with nutrition, and then also 7 years of working in the restaurant too, where I knew what foods to eat and not to eat. So while it might look like, or it might seem like I just lost this weight in 16 weeks, it was a lot of preparation throughout the years. For you guys, let's start with something a little more realistic in mind. Let's lose 10 plus pounds in 12 weeks while maintaining or even building muscle in the process. So if I'm able to lose 40 pounds in 16 weeks, I think it's possible for you guys to lose 10 pounds in 12 weeks, even without everything I've learned in the 10 years. If you do have the information that I've learned in the 10 years, then you could lose way more than 10 pounds. But let's be a little more realistic. 10 pounds is a great number. And even building muscle in the process, you are going to drastically change the way you look. You will transform not only physically, but also mentally. That's another key thing. If you're able to learn how to transform your body and build your physique, you're not only going to transform physically, but mentally, you're going to be just so much more confident and just feel better in your overall skin. What this is truly about. This is about becoming a whole new version of yourself. And again, not only transforming the way you look, but the way you feel. No longer craving the free food, the kitchen's mistakes, the free shift drink at the end of the night. No longer feeling like crap in your uniform. No longer worried about the future. No longer stuck. No longer yo-yo dieting, losing the weight just to gain it all back. This journey is not only about getting the results you always wanted, but also maintaining it. Again, I can't stress that enough. You need to find something that helps you maintain these results. You can't just do the next fad diet where you're just going to lose everything and gain it all back. Or else, what's the point? You don't have to say goodbye. This doesn't mean you have to say goodbye to the free restaurant meals or even drinks with your coworkers. Once you've learned and understand the fundamentals of nutrition and training, this is where you can experience true freedom. You'll slowly start to learn you can have free will around food, even have a couple drinks while chasing after that dream body of yourself. Once you've figured out the fundamentals of nutrition and training, you can truly eat whatever you want in moderation. You can have a couple drinks with your coworkers. You can go out and have a nice meal once a month, once every other week. You can truly understand to enjoy yourself while building the dream body you always wanted. Why is this so important? You'll have the power to control the way your body looks. There's no need to keep damaging it and letting it go to waste. Everyone has that opportunity to build their dream body. Why waste that opportunity? Again, you only have one body. Why are you wasting this opportunity? This is not for you. You're not willing to spend at least 2 hours in the gym a week. This is not for you. You're not willing to practice resisting eating fried food, high calorie junk food all the time. This is not for you. Whether or not you gain or lose weight, your pain just isn't great enough. How you look and feel. This is not for you. If you're not willing to give up binge drinking and driving your potential into some cases can affect your training. Again, maybe your pain also isn't great enough. It can determine how you feel. Ready for this minerals to optimize your health and willing to give up those things. Supplements. They can make us more committed to becoming the best necessary version of yourself. This is not for you. Supplements and micronutrients, you're looking for a quick, non-sustainable diet or something this is not for you. You shouldn't worry about. You're okay with treating your body like crap. Make sure you're doing the research and getting a lot of information before you start taking them. Even for vitamins and minerals, for supplementing those things, building nutrients are very important. It's only hard if you're doing it wrong. When you're trying to feel wondering for your overall well-being and health. Build the two big important ones are calories. They're going to determine whether you lose weight or gain weight, and micros or macros are going to determine how your body looks, your nutrition, how you feel as well too. Track your calories. Those two are the very most important things that you need to worry about. Your body is a temple. You need to understand what you're putting into it. At a minimum, you should be training at least 2 times a week in a calorie deficit. Your training split should be built around how often you're able to work out and how long you're able to work out each session. MyFitnessPal is a great option. If you're someone that can't work out that often, then you need to be training for about 45 minutes to an hour every day. If you're someone that can work out plenty of times throughout the week, 3-4 times throughout the week, to start. Then you don't need to train as long. You only need to train for 20 to 30 minutes a day. Bad habits. Relying on your exercises you choose should be based off calories, muscles you want to prioritize, and focus on your weak points. If you are relying on the food of exercises, while there are healthy options that you can get, not only you want to prioritize where you ones that you need to bring those healthy ones that you're lacking. You just can't order anything from the kitchen. On doing movements that you're comfortable with, and that will cause you to rely on the movements that are hurting your joints, which is absolutely going to kill your diet that you can't even understand. Drinking your ones that you enjoy, avoid liquor, ones that aren't going to cause a bunch of mental fatigue and cause you to just leave the gym and not get anything in. And then late nights at the bar. That's going to combine these two together. Avoid the alcohol. Optimize your sleep is not only one of the most important things you can do for your mental health, but it's even more important for your physical health. And you eventually is crucial for maintaining and building muscle. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of drinks in your system. If you miss 1 or 2 hours throughout the week, make sure you make it up later in the week. Eating the right amount of protein will increase your muscle mass. If you miss having the right amount of sleep, fats will balance your hormones. Every night throughout the week, fats are very important. So if you're aiming for 7 hours of sleep, you miss 1 hour, if you get 6 hours every night, eating the right amount of carbs and micronutrients can improve the way you feel. You need to make sure if you lose an hour of sleep, most importantly, sometimes I don't get work. I don't get home from work till 2 in the morning. And I still wake up around the same time, around 8 or 9. I might have missed an hour or 2 of sleep. How many of my clients the next day I might have off? So if I do have the day off, I make sure I go to sleep something that 30 minutes to an hour early, and I wake up an hour or 30 minutes later, feel more satiated and feel less hungry when you're in a calorie eventually accumulate. It's also going to help. Your last alcoholic beverage should be at least 2 hours before you get to sleep. Again, alcohol is going to destroy your sleep, especially if you're drinking it right before you go to sleep. So if you are going to have a couple drinks, I recommend you start drinking in the afternoon. Do a little bit of day drinking. Avoid the night drinking. And if you do drink at night, make sure you're having your last drink 2 hours before you go to sleep, so the alcohol has time to get out of your system and it doesn't mess up your sleep. One of the hardest parts of maintaining a good sleep schedule One of the hardest parts is maintaining a good sleep schedule, but this goes hand in hand with getting enough sleep. Try to keep your sleeping and waking times an hour within each other. So make sure that you are sleeping or going to sleep an hour within the time you usually go to sleep. So if you go to sleep around 11, make sure you're going to sleep between 10:30 and 11:30, 12 at the latest. If you're someone that wakes up at 8 o'clock every day, make sure you're waking up between 7:30 and 8:30, 9 at the latest. This will make sure you maintain a good sleep rhythm, a good circadian rhythm, and make sure that you are waking up and keep your sleep consistent and make it easier to wake up and easier to go to sleep, which will overall just add to the amount of sleep you're getting per week and the quality of sleep too. What you need to get rid of. You need to get rid of or limit the bad vices. Spending late nights hanging out at the bar, consistently going out to eat, and keep your distance from friends that provoke these habits while also searching for new friends or like-minded people that want to better themselves. You need to join run clubs, book clubs, Bible studies, or even just have a workout buddy that wants to work out with you. Have someone that's going to push you and hold you accountable, and have things that are going to keep you away from the bad vices, like late nights at the bar and consistently going out to eat. It's going to destroy your progress. I cannot tell you how many clients I've had that have done amazing throughout the week and then just ruin their diets on the weekend. They will do amazing throughout the week, hit their calorie goals, hit their protein goals, and then just have one night where they slip up and they decide, you know what, I'm going to go hang out with that friend because I haven't seen him in a while. Go out to the bar, and they just destroy their progress. And they do this week after week. And eventually they realize that the reason why they're not making any progress, or they get frustrated because they're not making any progress, and they realize eventually that the reason why they're not making any progress is because they're eating thousands of calories at those late nights at the bar. They're not getting enough sleep. And they're also, for some people, they're consistently going out to eat. They're constantly being tempted by friends that want to have lunch with them, want to have dinner with them a couple times a week. Like, get rid of that. Have friends that want to go to Bible studies or go to book clubs instead. Something that's just going to get rid of those bad vices, or someone that just wants to work out. Find new friends. That's the best option I can tell you. And you don't need to get rid of these things fully. You can still have nights where you go out and hang out with friends. And you don't need to stop going out to eat. You just need to consistently stop doing these things. You need to limit them to maybe once every other week, once a month, maybe, like that's your best option right there. Maintaining consistency and sustainability. Back to the beginning. If you can't stay consistent, then you won't sustain the changes. Back to the yo-yo dieting. If you're doing something that isn't consistent, if you're doing a diet that's just too strict, you're not going to sustain the changes and you're eventually just going to go back. And what was the point of even suffering for those weeks anyways? Working in the restaurant and having a different schedule every week, plus not knowing when you'll get called into work, or even pick up a shift, can make consistency feel impossible. That's why it's very important that you at least have one day a week that you're consistently off, so you can count on meal prepping and grocery shopping. These two things, meal prepping and grocery shopping, need to stay consistent to keep the rest of the week consistent. Because if you don't have your meal preps ready for the week, and you are eventually going to cheat on your diet. That's one of the main things I always recommend, especially for people that work in the restaurant late nights. You need to have a meal ready so you can avoid going out to McDonald's after work. You need to have, because overall, you're not going to want to cook when you get off after a 7-hour shift at 1 o'clock in the morning. You're going to be ready to go to bed, and you're going to want something quick and easy. So that's very important while you meal prep. Now, as far as keeping your meal prepping consistent and your grocery shopping consistent, this will make sure you don't slip up and not have your meals ready for the week. Because that one day you decide to go to work or pick up a shift on Monday when you usually meal prep, now all of a sudden you don't have your meals ready for the week. And you don't have time to make up. You don't have time to meal prep for the rest of the week. Or even on that Monday, you don't have your meal ready for the end of the night and you decide to cheat on your diet. And that can just cause a snowball effect of you ruining your diet. So make sure you at least have one day off a week where you can consistently meal prep and grocery shop. This is just the beginning. This is literally just the tip of the iceberg. While the fundamentals, optimizing training, nutrition, recovery, and discipline will teach you a lot, there's so much more that goes into building muscle and getting the best physique possible. For example, you have hunger management, plateaus, progression, supplements, meal planning, optimizing training routines, understanding self-control. These are all the things that are under that iceberg. Everything I just showed you is just the tip. And while you can get a lot out of what I showed you, there's so much more that goes into building the best body possible and maintaining it. This is where my coaching comes into play. If you want to avoid all the bumps, bruises, and learning curves that I went through, you might want to consider my coaching, where you'll get weekly one-on-one calls, 24/7 unlimited texting and messaging to my personal number. So if you ever have any questions, we can answer them right then and there. Full access to my video nutrition lessons, training and mindset lessons as well too. So we can go deeper into nutrition for you. So I can help you understand why you're eating the things you're eating. I can give you some mindset lessons on how to control yourself around the food. I can give you training lessons so you can optimize your training and make sure you're not getting injured while you're working out and getting the most out of your workouts. Custom macro plans, so you know exactly what to eat, how many calories, protein, carbs, and we can adjust that throughout the weeks. Assistance with grocery shop list and meal planning, so you don't go into the grocery store blind. That's one of the big things that I always recommend to my clients, is that they need to have a grocery list. Because if you go in without a list, one, you're not going to know what you're getting, and two, you're going to get unnecessary things. Full access to all my recipes and videos with written instructions. You'll have an app where you can see all the recipes I've ever made and ones that I've copied from other creators too that I found amazing and my clients love too. Custom training in the app. So I'll give you a custom training program in the app I use. Personal exercise execution, intensity, and technique analysis. So I can assess your exercise, make sure that you're doing the movement correctly and you're not risking injuring yourself. I can make sure that you're pushing hard enough so again, you're getting the most out of your workout. Workout tutorial videos in the app. So when I'm not there to assess your technique, you'll have videos demonstrating how to do the technique. And you can improve that technique. And you're constantly trying to make sure, again, that you're not getting injured and getting the most out of the movement. Custom supplement recommendations. So when you're ready to take the next step, or maybe you want to go straight into the next step, I can recommend what supplements you should be taking, what vitamins and minerals you should be taking. And that goes hand in hand with your blood work analysis. I can go through your blood work and see if you're deficient in anything, if we seriously need to be supplement anything, or if we can supplement it through our diets. To make sure that you can even supplement certain things. Because if you supplement certain things, you can really mess up your health. Daily weight tracking in the app. Make sure you're tracking, obviously hold you accountable to tracking your weight, and make sure that you're progressing in the right direction. Make sure you're losing the weight you want to lose, or even gaining the weight you want to gain. Weekly progress photos in the app, another way to track your progress, another way to hold yourself accountable, and also show your progress so you can have that motivation of seeing the progress you've made. MyFitnessPal is a PT distinction connection, so you can connect your MyFitnessPal to my personal training app, and I can track the calories and macros that you're eating every day and hold you accountable again. All right, if this sounds like something you're interested in, check out the link below where you can apply for my one-on-one coaching. Spaces are limited, so if you're not ready to make a drastic change, please do not apply. I am looking for people who are committed to implementing what I'm going to show them and skip all the mistakes I made throughout the years. So if that sounds like you, click the link below and apply for my one-on-one coaching, and hopefully I'll see you on the other side.